one of the legendary parts of Band of Brothers was the boot camp, and it was the concept started on Saving Private Ryan and Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks. We continued it on Band of Brothers. We did it on the Pacific, and we did it recently on Masters of the Air. Then those have become those sessions, those week-long sessions, have become legendary. And of course, they were conducted. And what's common about them all is they were conducted by another legend, Captain Dale Dye. We did a session earlier this morning with, as you'll see, one of the main reasons, main reasons that it seems so authentic is because our guys were drilled, and they'll tell you about it. But that was part of the authenticity. How could they bear themselves as soldiers? How could they carry themselves so that it would be believable, not just to the wide audience, but to the men who actually did it? So without any further ado, I'm going to have everyone introduce themselves and then just let them have a conversation. Captain Dye, would you start?
Thank you, Kirk, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming by to hear. You know, we hear an awful lot about boot camp, and here's a couple of veterans right here, Ross McCall and Frank John Hughes, and and Mike Cudlitz, sorry, and those guys are veterans, and they'll tell you how it all went down, and they're lying every bit of it, believe me. But most important to me, of course, is my executive officer, Lieutenant Mike Stokey, who's right here. Woo, woo. Mike's been with me for 50 years, believe it or not. We were both young corporals together in Vietnam. And I was able to Shanghai him into this process, and he's been my good right hand forever.
Captain, it was dated in the 40s, and it said, I'm going to screw it up, obviously, but it said you could only bring a towel that was green, army green, which I thought was the strangest request. No reading material other than religious reading material, and you could bring a pencil and a piece of paper. And I was like, what the hell am I getting involved with? My car's picking me up in 2 minutes, and when I'm going to the studio, I'm an actor. You know, somebody's going to make me a cup of tea, right? It all stopped. It all stopped as soon as we got out of that car, and we all met up at Hatfield. And I think the first person to scream in my face was this man, right back here, my Sergeant Freddie Joe Farnsworth.
Explain or describe a typical day in boot camp. How from sun up to Sandtown.
These men are not conscripts. They're actors. They're individuals. They're edgy. They're rebellious. And we come along and we've got to group them, regiment them, make them the same, knock all that crap out of them. And that doesn't happen overnight. And at the end of the day, when it does happen, they become individual soldiers. But they have to go through a whole rites of passage where one day one of the men has had enough and fails, and somebody picks him up. And an alien theater for them. And we've had no better experience than with this group. And they became, by playing these heroes, they became their own band of brothers, which is the proudest tribute to us.
They got a lion! What? Back down there!
Still 195 over. There's still one on the deck down there. All of the gunships,